My dad got crushed between two forklifts. I think I was like 18 or 19 years old. And I was in my first like major, like real job. Ended up being my trade job. 7 a.m. to 3:30. Was there for probably like a year. So I was still living with my dad at the time. And I just come home from work like any other day. Usually I would get home before my dad. He started later. He usually worked like a couple hours overtime. But I got home that day and he was already home. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And I come in. I'm going to try to not cry because I love my dad. I miss him so much. But I have to tell the stories because the dude was just, fuck. I miss him so much. He was amazing. But anyway, I come home, walk in the door, and he's just sitting on the couch. And the TV's not on, nothing's on. I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, hey, what's up, Dad? He's like, I got hurt today, Mark. Just monotone voice. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you all right? He's like, yeah, I got smashed between two forklifts. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell? Like, could not believe it. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, it got my leg. Got your leg? What? So he was leaning up against the back of a fork. He worked at Yellow Freight. It's like a trucking company. They call them the docks. You work on the docks. It's where, like, there was 150 doors or something like that. The semis would back up and, like, to the building, and there was just a shitload of guys, like 150 guys with 150 forklifts that would just load shit on these trucks all day. That's what they did. That's what my dad did for like 30 years. And a shitload of other people. It's a union. A lot of people do this job. And you'll either load the trucks or you'll drive the trucks, but it's all like the same, like Teamsters union. So he has like a clipboard because they give them bills where it basically just tells you all the shit you need to go find from all over the docks, the different pallets and everything that you need to load on these trucks. And you scan the bills, and you scan the whatever you're loading, so it has like a record of whatever. You know what I mean? I just say that to say he was leaning up against his forklift, writing on his damn clipboard, like, like, hey, still gotta find this fucking thing, some shit like that. Who knows? But some asshole just backing up really quick, got him. Bam! Got his leg. So they got my leg. Yeah, they got his leg. And I was like, what'd you do? He's like, I yelled. I was like, yeah, I guess, yeah, I would have yelled too. So he had the x-ray, was on the table. And it like, luckily all it got was his femur, but it was like his femur was split like lengthwise down the entire. I'll see if I can still, I wonder if this is still, the x-ray is still, or if I ever took a picture of it, but it literally was split like lengthwise. Like if your femur's like, I don't know, 15 inches long, the crack was probably like 12 of the 15 inches, like diagonally. Yeah. And because of, I don't know, what reasons, they didn't want to cast him because they would have to, I think the story was they would have to cast like around his waist and then like his leg, you know what I mean? Like all that shit. And they were like, it just wouldn't work. So they didn't put a cast on him. So, and wait, I was like, let's say I was 20. He was 29 when he had me. So he would have been 49. Yeah. He's somewhere in there, 47, 48, 49, something like that. So he's not young, but not old. And so they didn't cast him because he's still like, young and strong-ish. So, he's fine, essentially, whatever. But we live in, the condo that I still live in, but I lived in with him at that time too, is like, they're like side-by-side condos. So you have your own driveway, your own garage, and then you have a basement, a main floor, and then upstairs where the bedrooms are. But it's like there's, what the shit? I don't know what the hell that was about. Okay. But there's like 2 sets of stairs. You know what I mean? So essentially you have 3 floors. The washer and dryer is on the bottom floor. And my dad is he's persistent. He's stubborn for sure. But he's also just like, he's determined. He's stubborn. He's determined. He's like, he does not give up. You know what I mean? Like, if you gave him like a teacup to empty a fucking pool and that was his job, that's what he would do. You know what I mean? He would not be like, fuck this. No, he was a worker. He would work you under the fucking table. He worked me under the table many a days. Didn't matter what age, size, didn't matter. He beat me time and time again. And I work a lot of people under the goddamn table, trust me. Just with persistence. But so him not going to work was already a fucking problem for him. Like, he is stir crazy. Like, the guy didn't really sit down that much, you know, unless they got his leg. Then he sat down for a little while. But so he had to keep his legs straight on his own, like of his own accord. So after a while, you know, he's like, I'm at home. I got to be at home. Like, you know, I got to do something. And the way that the house is set up, it's not like you can't use crutches that much because it's like there's not that much floor before you just get to the goddamn the end of the floor, or you get to the stairs. Like, you know, there's not that much. So, you know, a couple days later, I come home and he's folding laundry, like on the couch. Like, he just like normal, just folding laundry. I'm like, how the hell, like thinking like, how the hell did you, the fucking guy would use his crutches to get to the stairs. He would sit down, holding his leg out, like flexed his leg, you know what I mean? So it's held out, so his femur is like locked up. And he would take the clothes basket and he would do essentially like a dip, 1 stair at a time. He would push up, like, you know, on his butt. 1 stair at a time. 1 stair at a time with a fucking clothes basket, like the 1 step above him. Just like boom, 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 step, boom, step, boom, step, boom, step. I don't know how many steps each level is, but like, you know, there's 3 floors. The fucking guy, like, I can't even imagine, you know, if you got 2 baskets of clothes, like, son of a bitch, just the amount of determination to do that. Like, man, it's so unbelievably respectable, you know, like, God. So I like to think about that because it's my dad and I miss him a lot. But I like to think about that when I am feeling like a fucking pussy, when I'm feeling like a punk, when I'm feeling like lazy, when I'm feeling, I don't know, like poor me, or if I'm feeling like, oh, I shouldn't have to do this, or blah, 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 blah. It's like, man, just like, you got big shoes to fill, man. There's, you know, like, everybody's hard is a different level. They don't know that because it's just hard to them. But I want to make my hard like so big that basically all the normal tasks, everything that, you know, most people in life would say, damn, that shit's hard, that fits in my easy basket. You know, like, my easy is what other people would say is hard. And I don't know, maybe I'm wording it wrong, but I think you get what I mean. Like, I want to have, I think I do have, compared to a lot of people that I know, my level of determination is very high. But you got to think of other people that just blow you out of the fucking water, so then you have something to strive for on the days when you just don't have as much willpower, when you don't have as much discipline, when you don't have as much drive, when you don't have as much motivation, you know, like, you just got to do it. Because I was listening to Eckhart Tolle Eckhart Tolle, I don't know. And I like the guy. I wish he would, maybe walk or did some kind of exercise or something, or maybe he has health issues, but he definitely has like that posture, like his head's coming forward. It just looks like he sits and looks at a monitor all day. And he's so fucking amazing and intelligent and stuff. I just feel like he could have, I don't know, just did some walking and I'm getting off topic. I just hate seeing people get fucked up as they get older. I don't think it has to be like that, But he was talking about how humans have this thing where they like are kind of always putting things, they're always kind of thinking about another moment in the future that's more important than this moment that they're in right now. And I try to get that across to people when I talk to them, because that's kind of what I'm talking about when I say like no matter when something is, it's always right now. It's always right now. Like the moments, like you working and you putting things off and you being like, oh, I'll do that later, or I'll do that whenever, or I'll anything where you're not trying to exist fully in the moment right now, or anything where you're willing to, like, I just had some caffeine because fucking need to wake up. But that's essentially robbing energy from tomorrow to use today, is the way that I've heard it put before. And I'm, taking stuff away from kind of like my future for right now. Like humans have this big problem with mindfulness. You know what I mean? It's one of the reasons I've been meditating so much, because I need to be in the moment. Like we're all in the moment. All we have is this present moment. Be in the moment. Be in the moment. Even if you're like, I sometimes would have trouble, not trouble being alone, but trouble like having, when you're alone, having that time mean as much, because it's like there's not like there's not like a witness of whatever you're doing, whatever you're talking about. You're alone, and it's fine. You're supposed to be alone. Alone time is really good for you, but it doesn't seem as real in one sense, in the sense of if you're talking to somebody, like if you're riding around with somebody, talking to them, and you have like a thought or an idea or whatever, like you can run it by them, and it's like now whatever that thought is has now been entertained and witnessed by two people instead of one, because maybe it's not even your thought, or they have a thought, or like you end up literally bantering back and forth, and you get to a place that you never would have got to on your own. Like you have, you're playing like verbal tennis. You're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then you get to a place where you're like talking about something that never would have been reached had you been by yourself. To me, it makes the moment in some respect, some sense, feel more real, makes that time feel more real. So when I would be alone, it feels not like wasted time. That's not the right word for it, but it feels less validated or validating. I don't know. I'm getting better with it as I get older, because I'm trying to come to terms with the fact that like you come into Earth like essentially naked and alone. Like even though you have your mother, like you don't know her. You just have like a biological imperative to be like, and then whatever takes care of you, you imprint on, or however that shit works, and your DNA and smells and pheromones and hormones and all the things. But it's just, I didn't have a hard day. I didn't have a bad day. Nothing like that. It's 7:00 because I had to go do some shit, whatever. And then I still want to work out, but I got to cook my lunches for tomorrow. I'm not complaining about any of those things. I am the luckiest man alive. Truly. Like I am blessed. I am grateful. I am healthy. I'm going to say I'm young because I don't want to be old, but I'm young, I'm healthy. You know, my girlfriend's home. I just pull in the driveway. She's young, she's healthy, she loves me, allegedly, but I think she loves me. I mean, I'm just unbelievably fortunate, you know, and I just, when you just need that little bit extra, that maybe 5% extra drive, that 5% extra, like, all right, I still got to do my workout. I still got to cook lunches. I still got to do this. I still got to do that. You know, think of that story or whatever your version of that story is. But for me, it's the fact that my dad, with a broken fucking femur, would push his ass up and down the stairs one step at a time on his butt. You know, and he didn't stop. Like, don't kid. After he folded the fucking laundry, he went upstairs and put that shit away. You know what I mean? Like, folded, like, whatever needed to go in the fucking the dress. We weren't really hanger type people, just a couple of guys. But, you know, put that shit away in like the dressers and stuff. Man, just like the determination, man. Just so respectful, so respectable. Yeah, respectable. I don't know, but man, I miss my fucking dad. But I love you. I hope you get something good out of the story.